good.
So what can you tell us about what a world without Megas looks like?
It ain't great.
It ain't great, but here's the thing. They don't know it ain't great because they don't know what they lost. And so you've got a bunch of people with a nagging feeling that something's missing, doing whatever they can to fill that hole of what's missing. And, some people are doing it in ways that are a little bit self-destructive, and some people are ignoring it and just trying to have the best time that they can. And this whole launch of the season is about recognizing the holes inside of us and what we're doing to make ourselves feel good, for better or for worse.
We've had a couple cameos in season 1. Season 2, can you tease any fan favorites, returning characters?
I can't because there's nothing happening yet, but I can promise that we are trying and that we want it.
What would be your dream cameo?
Well, I was just saying to the other table, so it's like 30 seconds old news, but we have written a scene that stars Freya Michelson, and only to find out that she's working on Roswell in exactly the same work window. So we'll have to see if we can make that happen. But we've got a long list of people from Vampire, from the originals that we'd love to see. First and foremost, I think would be
Kai Parker.
Kai Parker.
Kai Parker. Because I think that wouldn't be a cameo. I think there's a story there.
Yeah.
I would be very excited to tell it. Caroline Forbes, obviously. Like, there's so much story there, and she knows the time. Whenever the time's right for Candace is the time we'll tell that story.
Yeah.
Will the dynamic of the show be the same this season, like having a monster of the week, or will it be shift?
Yes. We love Monsters of the Week.
We love Monsters of the Week. That turned out to be some of the most fun that we have had as writers. Brett and I have been working together for about 8 years. I've been writing, plus another 7, and he was doing his thing. So much fun to write Monsters of the Week. I'm shocked by it, how much we enjoy it. So even if everyone else hated it, we probably would still do it.
It gives you so much. It gives you plot, it gives you structure. Like, just as a writer, the brass tacks of breaking stories is less of a chore, and it's really a joy. But then it also deepens your themes, because a good monster means something. So there's no bad. There's no bad to it. It's all good. All slimy goodness.
So the merge has been kind of a looming presence. Is that going to snowball now, or are you going to try to slow burn it still for a later season?
It's always going to be lingering. I mean, technically it doesn't happen until they're 22, so just by definition that needs to be in a nice slow simmer. But the girls are going to go through ebbs and flows of getting information, learning new things, wanting to track down new information, and then learning too much and dealing with the consequence of what they've released and unleashed in the name of getting information. So it's going to be something that plagues them for as long as they're on this show. And it may be something that destroys one of them when all's said and done. I don't know. That's something that we ask ourselves every day. We do not have the answer for that, and we're glad about it because it's kind of sad. Yeah.
Are we going to have a different overarching big bad this season, or is Malivore going to continue to be a presence if Hope gets released?
Both. All of the above. We look at Malivore like an ongoing Voldemort-esque threat. And the way that Buffy had the Hellmouth, that every season was about opening the Hellmouths, we're going to try to keep Malivore as that thing that hangs over our world constantly. But every year, like Buffy and like other shows, we'll have new villains, we'll have arcs, the big bad, the mini bad, and of course our monsters. So we've got danger and evil coming from lots of corners.
Well, with Hope being gone and there still being a Monster of the Week, they don't have Hope to save them every time. So are they going to learn how to be able to fight better themselves? And we get to see that.
I think they're going to have to do that whether she's there or not, which is the joy of it. And I think you saw that happen last year too. There are definitely episodes where people not Hope slayed the monster, and it's about it. Ultimately, Hope came to that group of friends and said, "I need your help" at the end, and trusted them to take down Triad by themselves. And so I think everybody's coming into their own, and we want to see that continue for sure.
The Super Squad is in full force.
Yeah.
It seems like you're setting up a similar sibling sacrifice dynamic that we've seen with the Salvatores and the Michelsons with the Saltzman twins. Is that something you're consciously working with, and how is it different here?
I think it's different in that these are teenagers who haven't yet discovered the full extent of their abilities, their powers, and what they want out of life. And so to them, there's something both terrifying and intriguing about this merge that they're not equipped to even understand what that means. Elijah and Klaus could sacrifice themselves for each other and for their family, because after 1,000 years they could fundamentally understand that was the right move for them, right? I think the girls are the beginning of that journey, and so they don't even know what it means, and I think that'll make it a really different dynamic, and we may get to the place where they find a solution that saves both of them.
Were you hesitant to end the first season with Hope's sacrifice, or was that planned from the start?
That was planned.
Yeah, really, really early. I mean, it seemed like the logical conclusion of the season. I mean, that thing is, honestly, you figure out the end really early.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I think you care about at the beginning of the season is like, what's the best end? Great, we're never going to beat that. That's the end. But it was inevitable. I mean, it was, why did she exist? Why was she this loophole?
The very thing that was preventing her from getting close to anyone is the very thing that like put her on the journey to find her squad and then have to leave it, you know. She started in a place where she didn't want to know people because she's tired of losing them, or them, you know, and at the end had to jump in to save the day and validate her whole existence. So
it's like just when she wanted to be around those people.
Just when she wanted it, yeah. Sad.
Are we going to see any flashbacks to how the other students became vampires, werewolves, or what their lives were like before the school?
Yeah, you know, somebody just asked that, and I realized that we're 6-7 episodes in, and we haven't done that yet, but we'd love to do that. So I think it's on our big board of ideas of which characters we wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing how MG became a vampire for sure, and get more into his family story. So we talked about Caleb and understanding what his story is, where he came from, and why he's like so cool and why his family's so supportive. So yes, I hope we do that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.